Welcome to Martini Time. Beautiful day here in Blackstone, the center of the world, but then you too are the center of the world. So, I keep talking about that you too are the center of the world. And so I've been working on this. In my morning talk, which I hope you tune into, Buddha's in the Landfill, or Buddhism Plain and Simple, I've been working out the problem of our consciousness where we have two centers, two me's. There's the me at the center, and there's the me on the rim. Looking at a wheel, the rim is the periphery, and the center is like this hole here. Now, we've been talking about two different views of the world. The objective view was really created or became dominant with the Enlightenment 400 years ago. This is the scientific view of the world. This is the view of the world where everything is a thing, and we just assume this is real. This is what reality is. Everything is a thing. It's the Newtonian universe. While quantum physics has moved on and does no longer see the world in terms of Isaac Newton, which basically was the world is a billiard ball, a pool table, and all the things in it just bounce around like billiard balls. And if you figure out the laws, then you can control it. Well, but our common sense still thinks that way. Just like we say the sun rises in the morning and sets in the evening. Well, it doesn't rise and set. That's the pre-Copernicus view, when the earth was the center and the sun revolved around the earth. But we still say that. Nothing wrong with that, but that's not the way it is. So we still say everything's a thing. Something. I'm something. You're something. Everybody's got to be something. But that's not the way it is. But it's true for that view, and we need that view if you're going to catch a bus, get a job, mix a martini. That's the objective view. But the subjective view is not on our map. Our map is all objective. Things, external things to you. So when you look at a map, you're not on it. If you're on the map, it's because you're a thing on the map. But the looker is not on it. So whatever you look at as a thing, you are a subject looking at an object. So the world is objective. You can't see the subjective because if you want to see it, you have to make it into an object. So where is this subjective view? Well, it's here. It's the heart. So that's where I use this. This is the title of this talk is Which Me is Me? There's two me's. There's the me that is subjective, which is the me of your viewpoint from a location in space. In other words, you're looking at me from the viewpoint of you in your location, wherever that is. A worm has a me. A worm looks at the world from the viewpoint of a worm. I mean, it doesn't have an eye. It has a me. A dog has a me. It looks at the world from the viewpoint of the dog. You see. So humans have a me, a viewpoint, just like dogs and worms. But we also have an I, because we're aware of our me. I'm aware of my me looking out on you. That's self-consciousness, self-awareness. So there's two me's. There's one who's the me with the viewpoint, and then there is the I that's aware of me looking out on you. aware of me as an object. So this I up here, isn't this funny? This me up here is an I that lives on the objective rim of consciousness. And this me as the viewpoint lives at the center of the world. So when I say you're the center of the world, I'm talking about your me, your subjective me viewpoint. That is the center of your experience. Everything you experience is an object that you experience. So the me that experiences everything is at the center of the world that you experience. There's no world other than the one you experience. Now, I believe there is, but I don't know, because all I know is what I experience from my center, you see. But then when I want to know who I am, I make myself into an object, and I start looking at myself as an object, and I compare myself to other objects, and I say I come up short. You see. I don't measure up, you see, because I'm sitting on the rim. I'm the me on the rim, you see. So there's two me's, but our reality that we live in, like a fish in a bowl, is an objective reality of the Western world. This is not the same reality other cultures live in, particularly primitive cultures, Aboriginal cultures, Eastern cultures. This is predominantly a Western, objective, scientific, empirical worldview that has made us so successful in controlling the world because we made everything into an object, figured out the rules, and control it. You see. But we're the ghost in this machine. So the two me's, you see, are me on the rim, which is the one we think is the only me, and the me at the center, which we drop into occasionally and have some tea. You see. We drop into this me in the center whenever we feel in the zone. Let me put this up. We drop in on this center me when we're alone, when there's no, Sartre says, hell is other people. When there are no other people, we can fall into our center. But if somebody calls my name, hey you, right again, we're bam, right back on the rim. We're in it. Are you talking to me? You see. But when we're in a sport, when we're in the groove in a sport, in a dance, in our art, in our craft, when we are at risk, threatened by death, trying to get out of a way of a car, trying to get out of a building, trying to rescue somebody at war, we drop into our center. And then as soon as the activity is over, our me on the rim comes back and say, whoa, what the heck was that? Oh, if we have an insight, you see, the insight comes from here. It doesn't come from the rim, because the me on the rim lives in time, lives in form, lives in lives on a merry-go-round of going up and down. I'm high today, I'm low now. High, low, in, out, you see. But the center stays the same. So the center is still. And we drop into that center, and we have to drop into it. We have to trip, like Alice into Wonderland. We have to trip into it, fall into it, stumble into it, come upon it. By chance, you see. We come upon it. Oh, it's like a miracle. It's transformative. We say God. Jesus did it, you see. An angel. There's no words for it because it doesn't fit on the map. It's not on our map, you see. It's a black hole. There's nothing there. If you go there, there's nothing there. There's no object there. It's empty. So we need to find, and I was sharing this morning, when I flipped out, and the title of this morning's talk was I Flipped Out in 1968. So in 1968, I stumbled into my center. I went to bed listening to Krishnamurti and woke up in the morning, and I was the me of my center. The me of my rim was gone. It died. It wasn't there. I had no idea what happened, but I was joyous. And I looked in the mirror and I broke out laughing. I recognized myself. I said, "Where have you been? You have been all that I've been looking for. I recognize you. You have been what I've searched for. You. Me." Wow. And I was totally in my body. My mind and my body were one. I was on a motorcycle. I had a little motorcycle. I started riding it like Evel Knievel. Started doing yoga postures. I didn't know what yoga was. I would read the Bible. Or I would read Walt Whitman. And I would read the Song of Myself as if I were writing it. I was reading the song from the moment when it was written, because there was no time. There was no space. There was no object, you see. I listened to music, and I was the music. There was no separation. The me at the rim is separated because it's an object. It's an image. It's separated from everything. All you can hope for is a relationship. A thing relates to a thing. You get into a relationship, kind of a contract. But relationship from the me in the center is not relationship, it's identity. That's why the me center has empathy. It has empathy for other people because you are other people from that center. There is no object there, you see. There is no space-time. Everything is the center. But we can't stay there. We have to live, we have to keep this me on the rim in time because we have to function. We have to catch a bus, get a job, cook food. All this requires a world of things. But the problem is when our map is only objective, the world is flat, it has no meaning, no purpose, no me in it. I'm a ghost. Nobody knows me. I'm alone. You see, it's that feeling of being in exile, kicked out of the garden, kicked out of the club, kicked out of the society. I'm alone. I'm in wandering. Looking for what? My me. My center that has no second, you see. The me that lives on the rim, in the mind, in time, in thought, is second to everything. It's in competition with everything. It's a struggle for everything. But the me at the center has no struggle because there is nobody else. The center, and this cannot be, words fail because words lock us into the me on the rim. Our language, subject, object, subject, verb, object. A subject is a thing. A verb is an action. A thing does something to an object. That's two things. This thing does something to this thing. That's the pool table. And that's our language. And we believe our language is reality. So that locks us into a billiard ball universe. So we have to bypass language. That's why poetry comes in. That's why nonverbal arts, dance, painting, music, these all connect us to the heart, you see, because they bypass language. Now I work with language. I'm a writer, a speaker, speaking language. So the only language that connects to the me is metaphor. But people don't understand metaphor anymore because They're not a metaphor. Everybody just sees things. Everybody just talks about and thinks and conceives that the world as being things, you see. But the metaphor connects you to your own empty black hole that is nothing. And because it is no thing, it is not in time. And because time, you see, is thinking, thinking is time, because thinking moves, movement is time. So thinking creates past and future. But the me of the heart is always now. So now we get into Eckhart Tolle. The power of now, the power of me as now, you see. All of these philosophies, non-dual philosophies, all these wisdoms connect together, but they use different languages and different ways of looking at it, you see. And what my effort is, what I do, what my drive is, what I can't not do, is integrate, connect dots. And it's through connecting dots that I open up my center, because the center is an integrating center. Your center is that which integrates everything. It's always inclusive. The me in the mind, the me in the rim is always exclusive, excludes this. It wants to get down to the I. It wants to get down to the me, the I as a thing, you see. So that's the last thing to go. When you drop into your empty center, the me that has no second. So anyway, thanks for dropping in, and I'll continue this exploration, this inquiry into who am I? Who am I? Who am I? So I'll see you in the morning. Thanks for dropping in.